Hello. What's up, everybody? What's up, Anthony? What's up, Robert? Let me know if anybody else is in here. Let me see. I got the chat right here. Right. Let me make sure this is. Yeah, I think we're live, right? Let me know, whoever's watching, if you guys can hear me and see me. What's up, design? All right. Let's see. Actually, no, I'm gonna put these. Done. Welcome. Let me see. Oh, there we go. That's what happened. Can you guys hear me? Let me know down below if this is good. What I'll do is let me try it on my phone. All good. All right. We'll get. How's everybody's day? What's up? Let me we'll get started in a few. Is anybody here building or played around with HealthKit or building something in HealthKit? I'm just curious. And Anthony, what's up? It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. How is the iOS journey going? Let me know. This is cool. Oh no. All right, I'm playing around with the chat. See, my chat disappeared. Oh no. Now I can't see where everybody's at. But yeah, we'll get started in a second. We're gonna be going through HealthKit and like fetching fitness and health activity data. Boom. Because I've been playing around with it a lot recently, and I found like a lot better ways of doing it than I was doing it previously. Oh, you never use HealthKit? It's pretty dope. Well, if you have an Apple Watch, it's kind of dope because you get into, like, if you're into like data tracking and all that, then you can kind of just have a lot of fun with it and play around with it. That's kind of what I've been doing. Give me a second. Oh, all right, there we go. Boom. All right, what time is it? All right, we'll get started now. Let me start recording this. Cool. All right, so the purpose of this video is going to be to go over how we can fetch like health data, like steps. And also workouts, and just doing it in a more optimized way using Swift Concurrency. And feel free to ask any questions. I'm gonna open the floor to questions at the end, like if more general questions regarding HealthKit or anything in general. But let's get into this. So we gotta create a project first. And this one we're gonna be, well, actually don't call it HealthKit because you're gonna run into issues. Let's just say be healthy or get healthy. I don't know. All right. And we're going to create this project. It's a funny name, be healthy. And a few things we need to, and one thing to note with when you're using HealthKit is you need an Apple developer account or you run into issues. I don't believe you're able to use this without an Apple developer account. Although don't quote me on that because I have a developer account, so I haven't not had one for a while. So I don't know if things have changed. But you most likely will need a developer account for this. So you need to go here to the target signing capabilities and allow or add HealthKit as a capability. And once you do that, the last thing we need to do is go back to your target, go here into the P list. And we need to add, I believe it's in the privacy. It should be the health share, this one. And if you're gonna send workout data, like if you're gonna update health data, you would bring in this one, but we're just gonna be viewing it. So we do that. Please allow access to enjoy our app. That's usually what I go with. I don't know. I mean, in production, I guess you take it more serious and like put something more, I guess, useful, but I usually just write that. All right, so what do we need to do now? So no UI yet because we need to, actually, I could do it here. This is gonna get a little messy, so please bear with us. But you can import HealthKit here, and we're gonna create a class called Health Manager. And this is gonna be the class that's like responsible for making the request to HealthKit and the health store and just managing that data. Of course, we'll take it out and put it into its own file. Just keeping it in here for now. So, and one thing we'll do is we are going to use Singleton. Of course, shout out to the people on LinkedIn. I think it was like Dave something. We're having a discussion on whether Singleton or whether the Singleton pattern is okay or not. And again, it just really depends on your use case. But we're going to be using it. So we need to call private init here to make it a true Singleton. And then what do we need to do? So the first thing you need to do with HealthKit is you need to create a function to request access. Request access to health data. And we actually want to mark this async throws, because I believe you can do it without async throws, but why not use it? If it's you should, if you have an option, you should use it. To be honest, it's a lot smoother and easier. And the next thing we need is we need to create a health store. So I'm gonna create a health store, and this comes from Apple or HealthKit, this HK health store object. And this is what we're gonna use to make our request. So we're gonna say health store, leave requests, authorize it, this one. To share, we're not sharing it to anybody, but to read, we do need to do this one. And if I remember correctly, let's see. All right. Yeah. So we need to create a set of all the health data we want access to. So we will call this health types, and this is going to be a set. All right. And we will call that here. And what do we need to add to this set? We need to add the data we want. So of course we want the step count. And to actually get the step count, we need to say HK, I believe is a quantity type, this one. And then you say dot step count. And let's get access to their workouts. For the workouts, it's a little different. You do HK, which one is it? I believe it's a sample type. And instead of doing it like that, you actually do it like this for the workouts. And in here, let's do steps and workouts. So this builds, and we can call a task here and see if this is working. because we can call our health manager dot shared request access for data. All right, and oh, you need to make sure this is in a do catch block or you always get an issue. Which is smart because, I mean, it forces you to error handle, which you should be doing in your apps. And this is try await because it's asynchronous. And if this works, you should see the health sheet pop up. There we go. Voila. And that's it, folks. No, I'm joking. This is just requesting access, which is pretty straightforward. The tricky part is when you want to fetch data from the health store, because it's happening asynchronously and they haven't really set up async or functions that use the new Swift concurrency yet. So we're going to create a few functions here. The first one we're going to create is one that's going to fetch a step count for today's date, or actually for any given date. So let's say func fetch step count from, actually let's do fetch total step count from, and then we will pass in a start date here of type date. And since this is asynchronous, we will need a completion, which with the add escaping. And we will, what do we need to put in here? We want to return a result with an integer and an error. And what else? Oh, and I believe we want this to return void. Hit Command B here, and do we have any issues? Will you break out those types into an enum? That's a good question. You could, yeah. Yeah, it really depends on, because there's a lot more you could add, like in the the course, and even in the video that I made on this before, I believe we had access to the, actually I don't think in the video we did, but you can get access to like the calories burned, and you'd have to request that using, you'd have to create calories. I think you can use this one. Oh yeah, it's active energy burn. And you can access a lot. Like this is the exercise time, which on the Apple Watch is like the green thing. I don't, if you don't have Apple Watch, you don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Apple gives us a lot that we can fetch and use. Some of this stuff, I don't even know if people use. I'm guessing people use it though, because you can enter this stuff in the health app. But for this video, we won't be breaking it into enums to answer your question. All right, so we created this completion. Let's get the rest of the code in here so we can see what we're doing. So we need to actually create this same reference here, because we're going to make a query, and that query needs to know what type of data it's fetching. And in this case, it's going to be fetching step data. Cool. And then we need a predicate. Let predicate equal, I believe it's the HK quantity type predicate. Which predicate is it? Oh, we need to call HK query. Then predicate this one. Predicate. And they give us a lot of predicates to work with. This is why HealthKit is a little crazy, because they give us a lot, and they I mean, you can read the documentation, but it may not be the best. So we're gonna do for samples with start and end dates. And the start date will be the start, and the end date can be .now. Cool. And then I believe this is enough for a query. We can do a statistics query with a quantity. There we go. Yeah, it's one of these. I think this one, yeah, this one should be enough. So we'll do our steps, the predicates, and we get this stuff, and we don't care about this. This is the result, and this is an error. And in here we can guard, we can grab the quantity from the result, which I believe it's yeah, some quantity. And you can call either or, I believe. Returns the sum of all samples that match the query. We're going to go with this one, and we can guardlet that the error is equals no. Sometimes I always I get tripped up on the when you guardlet an error, you have to think, do you make it equal to nil, or is it not equal to nil? All right. So we're getting this issue, and then we can grab our step count from this quantity, double value for, and we will say count. That's what we're looking for. And this will give us the count, the total steps from the start date we pass into this function to the end date, which is now. And that makes sense because you don't have any step data for the future. So all the step data is up until now. Oh, sorry. Hey, Just Smile. I'll answer that in a bit. Let me wrap up this this function. But I'll get to you in a second. All right, so we create the steps. And all right, so given the steps, what do we need? So this steps is actually a double. If you can see here, this double value, it returns a double. And we wanted to return an integer. And the reason I went with integer is you don't have to handle or worry about the decimal point. But in case you do want to worry about it, then you would go with a double. And you wouldn't have to do what I'm about to do now, which is cast it as an integer just to get rid of the decimals. All right, so that's the function. And then and the thing you have to be careful with HealthKit and just like with these queries is you always have to execute them. Otherwise they won't run. And you'll be confused as to what's happening because the data won't load and it won't show. And it's because you forgot to execute the query. All right, so that's pretty much the function call. And the neat thing about this function is you could pass in any start date and it'll give you the total step count from that given start date. But to make this better, we can actually incorporate Swift Concurrency. And the way we would do that is we can actually, let's just copy this signature. So I'm gonna copy this and we can get rid of this when we change to Swift Concurrency, and we need to call async throws. Just making sure the stream is still going smoothly. All right, and with async throws, or with like with Swift Concurrency, they have a neat tool where you can change from a completion to async throws or Swift concurrency. And we need to use try await with check throwing continuation. And this will give you a continuation. And all right. And then we need to the other thing we need to do is this function needs to return an integer. That's one thing I forgot. So this is like this is how the transition happens. Let's hide the preview. You go from this to this when you switch over to Swift concurrency. And then you basically just need to call the function. So we can call fetch this one, pass in the start date, and we have a result. And we can call the continuation now. Resume returning, actually this one. Resume with result. And we can just pass in that result. And that's all you need to do to convert a function from using the completion, the escaping completion to Swift concurrency. All right, and my bad, I was looking at the chat. All right, and one thing, and Swift declare a function, or this basically letting you know that it's gonna this function is gonna have like an asynchronous call that you're not sure when it's going to fire. So when this function is called, it's gonna be called with this completion block, which basically gives you a way to tap in and listen to whether or not this result happens, or when this result happens. It basically is a way of letting you know. But now that we have Swift concurrency, we're basically transitioning to something like this, which is a lot neater, a lot more neat to implement. Because if I go down here below, we can try to call these functions. So if we say try await, well, if we say fetch, well, actually I need to call health manager. So here, if I try to call, so I can call this one with the start date of, let's see, we can say calendar.current start of day of today. That'll give us how many steps we have today. And if I wanted to call the other function, it would look something like this. I'm just going to use now, and then you'd have a result. And then you can switch on the result, and it looks something like this, which doesn't look too bad, right? But what happens is if you have a bunch of calls that are being made that are like this, where they're like asynchronous, then you could end up with a bunch of nested completion blocks, and that gets very messy. When now with Swift concurrency, we just call this one line of code, and it literally will wait until this happens, and then it'll execute the next line of code if you're doing another call. And that's like one of the powers of it. And so what I like to do is I would like to make this private so people don't call it from outside. So now outside the health manager, you only have access to the asynchronous one and not the one with the completion block, which is a lot nicer in my opinion. All right. And now I'm going to do something where I'm going to open up ChatGPT. Let me log in first. And why ChatGPT? because we're gonna be creating some data extensions. And this is like the cheat code I go with when I want to create a data extension. Swift date extension. Create a computed property that returns start of the week. Why am I writing it? Here we go. So now we can fetch the start of the week, which I'm guessing is Sunday. So let's go here and create a new file. Call this Swift file. Date ext. And we can make this non-optional by just doing nil coalesce. And this shouldn't fail. And we can create another var here called start of day. And I think we could do all this in one line, to be honest. We can return calendar dot current start of day for now. Instead of writing this like long line, you can just write dot date now. Because what you can do here, like this is what we did here. We can do dot now. And we can do share dot fetch. Dun, dun. Oh. We have to make, what I really wanted to do was make this a static var, I believe. Oh. Dun, dun, from self. I believe we can reference just the current date or date.now, since that's what we're always going to be referencing it from, right? Because we want the start of the week from like now. So instead of using self, we can just use dot now. And now we can use start of day like this and start of week. And that's why I like using the static properties here, like a static var. Because when we call it in a function like this, we can just call it like this and we don't have to worry about anything else. And now we can focus on some UI. So we will call this today 0 and this week 0. And let's put this in vstacks text this week. And let's use some string interpolation. This week steps. And we can use today. Change this to today. Command B, and then right here we would, this one is start of day, so this one would be today. And then this is this week. All right, so we did a lot of coding. Let's see if this works. I think I have step data on one of these devices. I have to figure out which one. All right, it's loading. Oh wait, did I set this as a content view? Yeah, I did. There we go. We get 0, and oh, we didn't get the health. It didn't request. Uh-oh, we got a little issue. Let's see. So health share usage. Let's try to add another one. Privacy. Health. Let's use this one as well. And let's add in the other one. Now let's run this and see what happens. There we go. Yeah, it looks like we needed the update. So turn all of them on. Allow. Oops. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, it looks like in this completion, we didn't handle the failure. I believe we could do like URL error. Do like bad URL or something. This should do not connect to the internet. All right. And one thing I want to know is this will also crash if you don't have health data for today's or for the given step count. And you can mock your health data using, or you just go to your health app, go here and then just add data. And let's see. Yes, I don't think I have data for today. So let's add data. Let's add some steps. And what's up, Sebastian? All right. So we just added some step data, yeah. Now let's run this. And there we go. Now this is working. And we don't have the continuation issues because I missed the completion error. Basically when this fails. And this will fail if, for example, if for today, if I had no step data, it would fail. And so that means last time around it failed and there was no completion block handling that. Yeah, and this is a lot nicer, to be honest, than the way I did it in the last video. And there's still a little bit more I want to add here, but I'm gonna cut this into its own file now before it gets too crazy. All right. But how's it going, Sebastian? How's it going, bro? I'm gonna take a little break now, or take a little break to chat with you guys. And then we'll go to the workouts after. Let's see, Just Smile said, I'm from Algeria and there isn't much iOS. Oh. Yeah, that's something that I've noticed a bit is the market for iOS developers in certain countries isn't as big or as great. I want to start, but I'm struggling between. I think that question really depends on your timeline, like how soon you want a job. Basically, that, yeah, actually, I think that's like the biggest question: how soon you want a job. Because if you need one right now, it's gonna be tough regardless, right? Like if you go web or iOS, it's gonna be challenging. But it looks like there's more opportunities in web, right? And kind of like what Robert said, it might be best to go with web. Although, so you said that you really like iOS. How do you feel about web? Do you hate it? Do you not like web? Is my M1. I have an M1 actually. I have an M1 Pro. This is what I'm working with. And it's pretty good. Although to be honest, I had my first crash like this past week actually. It crashed randomly. I don't even remember what I was doing, but it crashed. So maybe, well, I think I still have a year or two before I need to upgrade. So you really like iOS? Smile. What about web though? So should I start by UIKit or Swift UI? To be honest, from the sounds of it, you should probably go with UIKit because I don't know. I think in like smaller markets, well, not smaller markets, but I guess like smaller markets or like countries, a lot of their code is still in UIKit, from what I've heard. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I'm hearing from a lot of developers in like other developing countries. So UIKit might be the best way to go, even though I know Swift UI is really neat. And yeah, iOS development is really attractive, but it sucks that it's not as prominent in some countries. But all right, let's see. Let's get back to this. Right. Like legacy, yeah. Big companies still use UIKit. Well, it depends on the company, but most of the time, yeah, because it's like the apps were built such a long time ago that their code base is primarily like UIKit. Some even have Objective-C still. I know my last job they had Objective-C a lot. Yeah, that's the funny thing about web. Like, there's so many different frameworks, and there isn't like just one. Well, I guess React and Angular maybe are like the big players, but even those, like now you have like Vue. There's like Tailwind. CSS is crazy, like in general. I went with iOS because like Swift was really nice, and I really like the idea that we take our phones everywhere is super powerful, and this phone is shattered, but don't mind that. But yeah, we take our phones everywhere, so if you're able to build something that's like useful with that, then it can be very powerful. That was my thinking, and Swift was pretty cool. So. All right, one more thing I want to show you guys in terms of step count too, though, is if like let's say you want to fetch the step count and also grab the date pertaining to a certain step count, then you need to do a different approach here. The approach, let's call this func fetch total step count with the date from. You would do the whole start date thing again. And we basically want to copy this signature, to be honest. Saves us some time. And the setup is a little different this time around. We still have the step count, but now we have an interval, and this is going to be the interval we want to fetch the step for. So if you want to fetch them daily, we want to use a day component. I think it's date component. And we need to call day here. Day 1. All right, and then we have a query. And I believe it's a different type of query, right? Let me see. Yeah, it's a statistics collection query. And so you can bring in, the only difference here is the option, but we just use this one. The steps. The predicate will do nil. The anchor date will be start date, and the interval will be this one. Since we put nil for this, we can just delete it. Actually, no, you can't. So you need to just keep it in there. All right, and this time around, we call query, and we can say initial result handler, I believe. Yeah. And it's going to be something similar to this, actually. It gives us three things. All right, and we can literally copy paste this part because we need to garlet the result and the error. But I think for the result, we need to change some things. Let me see. Yeah, we need to. So we just, this results is optional. So we want to say results. Cool. And then what do we do with our results? You can enumerate statistics from start to, let's see. Actually, let me go back. I believe we want this one. Yeah, you want this one. And you want to enumerate from the start date to now. And now we get some statistics. Oh. And I think this doesn't matter, but we'll get back to that. And now in here, this is going to enumerate through each day from the start date till now. And you're going to have access to those statistics here. So we could print statistics. I believe we have the sum quantity, and this will give you the step count for that day. But what we can do is we can actually get the start date too. And this is just showing you how to fetch these steps. along with each date in case you have a use case where you need to do that. For example, the biggest one I think of when doing this is actually for charts. So if you want to chart some step data, you have to do something like this. And we can try to call this. So health manager shared. Let's switch over the result. Print success, print failure. Localized description. And one thing I want to know is, I don't think we did a error handling for our completion. Or maybe not even error handling. I don't think we handled our completion here. So on success, just return 0. Actually, let's do 99. Because if we don't do this, then we're going to get a issue with the completion. Actually, yeah. Because this will never be called. Although this should still run. Because I'm running this just to show the print statements. So let's run this now. Oh, where are the print statements? Let's print error with result. Oh. Error with results. Oh, did I wait? Did I forget the most crucial step? I think I did. You need to call health store, execute query. This is what I said at the beginning too. And this is the one thing you have to not forget. There we go. And you see it went through each date. And if you know, it went through each date that has data, I believe, because we did... actually, no, wait. Yeah, because this did 29, 30, 31, 1. I don't believe it skipped any dates. Yeah, because you see here is no. And yeah, that's just something to note. And that gives you another method of fetching step data. Just in case you need the start date. Or pretty much the date. Because unless you're running like for a whole day straight, the start and end date shouldn't matter. They should be the same date. Technically speaking, but I mean, you never know, right? Maybe we have some runners here who like to run a lot. Bro, let's see what's going on in the chat. I see too much people going web, a lot of technology, a lot of frameworks, how it's straightforward. Yeah, I mean, Smile, where are you in like your career wise? Like, do you need a job now? Are you a student? Because if you have like I want to say like if you have 6 months to a year that you can devote to it, then I think you could be an iOS developer by then. It's just about, I mean, learning and then like putting your name out there and having people, yeah, basically putting your name out there. And you never know what might fall into your laps. Because I met with Andres in Colombia, and he's an iOS developer in Colombia. And in Colombia, there isn't a big market for iOS developers, but since he was active and posting on LinkedIn about iOS development in Swift, he actually got hired at a job. Like the recruiter came to him, and he's a junior. Like he had no prior experience with like development, just from being active in the community and like actually knowing how things work. He was able to get the role. So you never really know. You never really know. Right place, right time. Oh, all right. So what's up, guys? I'm gonna wrap it up here for now. I wanted to do the workout section, but I think I'm gonna film that afterwards and just add that to this video when I upload it. Do you guys have any questions regarding HealthKit? If you guys want to see more content like this, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. And also, if you're interested, I have a course on sale right now, actually, where we go through and we built out a whole fitness app. And we follow like MVVM. We use source control. Yeah, so if you're interested in something like that, check out the iOSdojo.io. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think down below. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Who wouldn't want to code for Tim Cook? I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to work for Apple. You can't do anything when you work for Apple. But I mean, I guess it's a cool experience probably, but I don't know if I'm at a point in my life where I'd want to, because you pretty much can't do anything. Like anything online. You can't have any side projects. It's Apple's little cult. Don't quote me on that. But all right, though, I appreciate you guys for coming out. Thank you for tuning into the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you want to see future streams of certain things. We're almost wrapping things up now. Boom, boom. I mean, you can have side projects, but you can't like publicly, what's it called? Like, yeah, I don't think you can have publicly available side projects. I think if you own an app, like, yeah, like they do. Like, I know you can't have a blog. You can't, like, I think I'd have to stop the podcast. You can't, I couldn't have the courses. I don't think. I think maybe you might be able to blog still. Although I don't fully remember. I know you can't have like a development agency. You can't build apps for people. Cause I spoke with Natalie Panferova, episode 7 or 6 of the iOS Dev podcast. And she mentioned how like she had to stop certain things when she started working for Apple. I don't know if it's still like that, but, and thank you, Glenn, for stopping by. Appreciate it. Is this common knowledge? A little bit, because if you've noticed certain people who start working at Apple, they kind of go silent. Because I mean, you can't really talk about certain things. At least, yeah, you can't really. Because there's like a lot of NDAs, and I mean, but it's something you agree to when you join. That's a good question. Would I ever work for Apple? I think, I mean, woo, that's tough. Depends on what if they would make, if I have to stop, because I guess I'd have to stop doing everything I'm doing. So I don't know. That's like a red pill, blue pill type situation. If I didn't have to stop what I'm doing, then I would, because why not? But if that's the case, then I don't know. What about you guys? Be careful what you say on stream. I know they might be watching. You know what? I love to work at Apple. If you guys want me, I'm ready. Yeah, I think it'd be cool though to work there though. Boom, boom. How's the dev journey going though, Anthony? It's been a while. Oh, and this project's gonna be on GitHub. I should have noted that. Let's put this on GitHub. Where's the comment section? Have I done web dev before? Actually, I have. No, not before iOS. At my last job, they made me do iOS and web. Okay, let's call this Fitness 2.0. Let's make this public. We're gonna do some terminal stuff here. CD into this folder. Actually, I think I need a, is it a init, git, and why did I do that? It's git commit and then you do the message. HealthKit live stream. There we go, and then you do git push. No, I left my job not too long ago. Well, actually, I left my job at the middle of this year, and I mean, yeah, it was there. They had UI kit, Objective C in there. Now I've just been working in mostly Swift UI. To be honest, purely Swift UI. And it's been a lot of fun, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, I could work UI kit, but I think I'd like to work a UI. If I did UI kit, it'd have to be like UI kit with some Swift UI. Swift UI is just so neat to work with. Yeah, this repo is public. Let me share this on Twitter. You guys gonna see my feed. Quote, thank you, everyone. Yeah, the market is tough now. Been alright, had to stop due to family concerns. We're trying to get back into it now. Well, bro, let me know if you need help with that. If you have any issues or help you want on a project, feel free to hit me up. Also, y'all can feel free to follow me on Twitter. I just posted the link to the GitHub repo. I need to do the same on LinkedIn. All right, so I think I'm gonna wrap things up though, unless anybody wants to get a last few words in. All right, y'all. I'm gonna head out. I haven't eaten lunch yet. I haven't. Well, I mean, I have eaten today, but I haven't eaten a meal. So I'm gonna get some food, and I'll see you guys next time. Reach out to me on Twitter or LinkedIn or Discord. Actually, if you're not in the Discord, you should definitely join the Discord. That's like one of the best ways to reach me. I put it in the chat, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.